you're at a fork in the road right now.
I think I asked you before, why would Zach take a handgun that he felt like was used for no good?
You can stay on the path you're on, or you can tell the truth.
At this point, okay, we're not going to go down any more paths where we're not telling the truth. Okay.
You know that a lot of times when we bring people in this room and talk to them about whatever crime's been committed, a lot of times we already know the answers to the questions. Megan, this is the last time I want to tell you about that fork.
It's been 15 days since homicide detectives extracted confessions out of Zachary Lay and Trenton Easterling. But the police aren't ready to shut down the investigation without obtaining one last component to close out their case. At the end of episode 1, they sought to obtain the murder weapon from Zachary Lay, who admitted to the detectives that Trenton Easterling had handed over the .45 caliber handgun right after the slaying of 17-year-old Tristan Cole. And after finding that Zach had misled the detectives on the location of the gun, the investigators dug a little deeper and found that Zach's girlfriend Megan might just be able to help them find the sought-after evidence. And when they speak with her, she would be ready to cooperate. Kind of.
Okay, Megan, when I talked to you earlier, I asked you some basic start-off questions, right? Okay, you are 18. You do know Zach? Like, okay, and how long have y'all been in a relationship together?
8 months.
About 8 months? Okay. And when I started off my question before, I started asking you, referencing what happened out on the Deep Creek Road, and you said you were familiar with that.
Yes.
And I said, okay, I want you to tell me when's the first time you became aware of what occurred out there and who made you aware of that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's start back on the 12th. Okay. That was a Tuesday. Okay.
And that's where I would like to start, because this is the first time I've got to talk to you, and I'm one of the investigators that's helping try to figure all this mess out. So I'd like for you to start where Bill's leading you to.
Okay.
It'll be the first time I've heard your story.
Okay, so let's go to the 12th on that Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said previously that you were in school that day.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if I said that, but I don't think I was in school that day, because I was in Nicholasville, and I hurried to work.
Okay.
In Danville.
Okay. You work where in Danville?
Philly.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I said I was in school, but...
I thought you, and I may be wrong on that, but I thought you said that you were in school that day. Okay.
But I can double check.
I remember you saying you worked that night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember what time you told me you got off?
It was late. It's always, if I close, it's always late.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
That would be generally...
If I would get off, it would be... If I didn't close, it'd be 8 or 9. If I did close, it'd be 12 or 1.
Okay. So let's start on that day, and let's start saying that you were in Nicholasville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I want to ask you what you were doing in Nicholasville.
We were looking at buying a car.
You were looking at buying a car. Who were you with?
Zach and Drew.
Okay. All right. So you left there, and they dropped you off at the house. You went to work.
Well, we came back from Nicholasville because you can go through Danville.
Okay.
And Drew was there, so Drew went home because I was running late.
Okay.
And he was going the other way, so Zach went ahead and dropped me off. And Drew went to the house, and so I was at work that whole time. But
all right. So you get off work at you work between 8 and 12. We're not really close.
Mm-hmm.
My next question to you is when you were made aware of what occurred out on Deep Creek on that day. Okay, and I want you to start and tell me again for the record when you first learned of this and how you learned it. Okay.
So it was the next day. It was Wednesday. Like I said, it was like kind of casual conversation just because nobody really thought anything of it. Jerome told me, like the weird thing was that Jerome told me to give him $20 to get food because Jerome is stingy, won't give anybody a ride. Anyway, so he said he gave him $20 to drop him off on West Lane, and West Lane isn't that far from the house. So Jerome usually walks from his house to our house, so I didn't see why he needed to be dropped off anyway. But so that happened. And that was Wednesday after school because Robert was talking about, he was like, can you believe you gave me $20 for food? I was like, no. Anyways. And then, Zach was like, so I asked me to pick him up. Like, this was just all in conversation. It wasn't all one big conversation or anything. It was just casually brought up. And Zach was like, asked me to pick him up from a church last night. I was like, I didn't really think anything of it. And he was like, you know what was weird is that whenever we pulled up, he was at the church and he was on his knees with his hands in the air praying. And, like, that's why it was brought up, because they thought that was so weird. I was like, it is weird, because what kind of person does do that kind of stuff. And then he said that got in the car and they're like, what were you doing? He said, talking to family. They're like, what do you need? He said, talking to family. And so they just kind of blew it off. And then he showed them a wallet, and they didn't think anything of that either, I guess. Well, they did. They thought that he might have tried to rob him or whatever, and got his wallet from it. And they're like, what is that? And he said, you'll know. And they're like, what do you mean? And
you're hearing this from who?
Zach and Gerard.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that was all of that. And then, as far as I knew, like I told you before, I didn't know Zach had the gun at the time. But I talked to Zach more, and he was. I asked him because he kept asking me why would he take the gun, and I asked him. He was like,
This was after I interviewed you. You went back and asked Zach this, okay?
And he was like, I was just holding on to the gun for him because I didn't think anything of it.
Right. This all occurred on Wednesday afternoon after school?
Yes.
Before
work.
Time before work? Yeah. Where were you at when you had this conversation?
We were at home.
You were at home. And
So you drove Zach just sitting around talking about what had happened that night before?
Remember this question? I said, Megan, have you ever seen an assault-type rifle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and your answer to me was what?
Can't remember what it's called. We talked about it.
Right.
It was
What color was it?
black.
Black. Okay, and I ran some very, I said AR, AKR, and you said AR. And I asked you how long prior to the 12th had you seen this, how you'd seen it, where you'd seen it, who had it. And those are the questions I want you to answer again for me.
It was either like maybe 3 weeks or like a month. I'm not really sure at the time, but it was a while before this. Like I said, gun fanatic, and Trey was always talking about guns, got Zach interested in guns, and he brought over this AR to show Zach, and he just had it over for the night, and then he took it back home. He had a big case.
How long have y'all known Trey? How long has Trey hanging around in y'all's circle?
Actually not that long. Like Zach was friends with him because they have a class together, and so they talked a lot at school, and then Trey would come to the house like a month before this happened.
Had you ever seen Trey drugs while he was over there? Nothing like that. Drink?
That was, he said he would never do any of that stuff. Like, that was his, like, main thing. Because he wanted to go in the Marines, I don't know.
So he kind of talked about military and guns and that kind of stuff?
That's all he did. Just talk about guns and Marines and...
This pistol that Zach took from Trey that night and this AR that we're talking about, are those the only two guns you've ever seen Trey and Zach
yes.
kind of show each other or look or whatever?
Yes.
Trey brought any other guns over?
No, as far as I know.
That one time you saw that AR that we're talking about, and then Trey took it back, you'd never seen that gun ever again? Never seen Zach with it? Never?
Remember I asked you, did you buy it? Did you keep it there? And you told me you didn't, that you'd never seen it again. Okay. And I also asked you if you'd ever heard of them going out and shooting together. And what was your response then?
I mean, I work a lot, so that's, again, like, not that I know of.
But you never heard them, had a conversation about shooting, or, hey, you shot good today, or nothing like that?
No.
Oh.
Okay. Was there any bullets or ammunitions or magazines left around the house? You know what a magazine is. It's the part that holds the bullet that goes in the gun. They're pretty big, but that's style of rifle.
No, not that I know of.
Was Zach interested in buying it?
I mean, I think it was a pretty expensive gun, so I don't think he had any interest in it.
Was it gun?
I don't know. I feel like it's all.
Trey, who brought it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Zach never really had a thing for guns until he met Trent. I believe that's what you told me in the previous interview. How close were Trent and Zach? Did you say they were fair friends, hang out every now and then, or does Trent over a lot? Did he ever spend the night? Did they ever go out hanging out together all night? That type of stuff.
Trent was actually really annoying, and Zach kind of got annoyed with him a lot because he was over there. Like he came over a lot. Like he would just walk over there without inviting himself or without even saying I'm coming over. So Zach, I guess they kind of got closer because of that, but Zach still found him annoying, so they kind of like weren't as close as they could have been because of that.
With Trent going over there all the time, did Trent have a lot of friends?
Not really.
So, I mean, do you think that Trent may have been seeking Zach's a little stronger friendship, maybe because he didn't have any friends? Maybe he thought Zach was cool and Trent would be cool?
We talked about that.
Oh, yeah. What was that conversation?
Just that, that's what Trent was trying to do. He was just trying to impress us with everything he did.
Yeah.
Like, how he talked, just, I can't think of an example, but that's just how it was.
Yeah.
Did come over? Did you ever see him over town?
The only time I've ever seen Tristan was in my first hour. Other than that, I didn't know.
Okay. Did you run around a lot with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was he friends? Did he ever talk about Tristan? Were he and Tristan?
Tristan, no, we're best friends, but I didn't know that until Zach told me.
Okay, and that's after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Mm-hmm.
I guess what you done the last
But
time.
I've never seen Tristan out, so I didn't see how that was.
Did you talk guns? Was he ever over there? Did he ever talk guns, or was he just totally opposite? Totally opposite. Okay, I think we covered that a little bit earlier. But you had, let me see if my memory serves me correctly. You had never seen the handgun, okay, until, or even knew about it until I brought it up.
Correct.
Right? But now you know that the handgun was there.
Yes.
Okay, and I think I asked you before, why would Zach take a handgun that he felt like was used for no good? What did you all talk? When he told you that he had taken it, did he tell you why he took it from you?
This is what I talked to him about after the interview. He asked me a good question. I was like, why would you take the gun if you thought anything he'd done something wrong with it? And he said, I was just trying to help him. I mean, he said that he would be back tomorrow and he didn't want to take the gun to his house because his grandma or his mom would get mad or something. And he said he'd be back, so I didn't think anything of it. And he said it just wasn't a big deal to him.
Did they talk about who owned that pistol?
Still a lot of people's guns, but I didn't know. Like, I don't.
What do you mean?
Like, don't guns have to be registered?
No, not.
Then maybe not. I don't know how to get guns.
But Zach never. Did Zach own any guns?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did you think it was kind of unusual that if Zach didn't own any guns and just didn't like guns or never, showed an interest in them, that Trent bring one over to show to him, like the AK? Did that strike you kind of odd? Remember I asked you?
Just because they did talk about guns and Trent he's always talking about them, so I guess that's what sparked Zach's interest in it, and he was like, hey, I guess this is how the conversation went, because again, I came home for work, and this is when it happened. He was like, I guess it was just a, hey, I have an AR, you want to see it, or something like that.
In a relationship, most women, okay, in a relationship, are not always controlling of the finances.
Flag on the play.
But since you're the major breadwinner, from what I understand, okay, if Zach looked at you and said, I'm thinking about buying a gun, your first reaction would probably be, who's going to pay for it, right? And that would be mine. Okay. Did he ever say that I'm thinking about buying a gun, or this gun for sale, or if you're in the house? I know if Scott brought over a gun to my house and showed it to me and then left, my wife would look at me and go, "You're not buying another gun." Okay. Because why would he bring it over to show it to me if I wasn't interested in buying it? Does that make sense?
I think that's the point.
So when Trent came over with the AK and then left with the AK, did y'all have a conversation as to, hey, Zach, you ain't buying a gun, okay, or how you going to pay for it, or What's going on here?
He might have like insinuated to Trent that, hey, might buy that gun, but then he realized we don't have the money for that, so he wouldn't even bring it up to me.
Okay.
To be his smartest decision. But.
Well, that's kind of what when I talked to you earlier. That was like I said, Megan, y'all been together eight months, and if Zach talks to anybody about pretty much anything, it's going to be you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's what I was getting at is you're the breadwinner. You bring the money in, and I know that most women would say, nah, you're not buying a fishing boat, you're not buying another gun unless you find a way to pay for it. And that's what I was looking at to see if there was a conversation between you and Zach. If he did show any interest. So did he state to you that he might be interested, or that's just an assumption? That's why you thought Trent was over there.
That was just the assumption I had.
Okay. And you all never went shotguns. You all never went to a firing range. Never did any of that kind of stuff. Okay. Was it usual for Trent and Zach to be out together late at night, or go do things, or to hang around while if you were at work? You work 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week?
Just about, yeah.
Okay. Out of those 6 nights a week, and you're gone in the evenings, right? How many times of those during that time period, 5 or 6 days, would you say that Zach and Trent would be together, palling around?
Well, usually they stay in the house.
So you out working 5 or 6 nights a week, and you're I would say your man. I'm gonna say that very lightly. I would say your man is laying on the couch playing video games. All right. Okay.
Well, usually they stay in the house because Zach doesn't like driving his mom's car, so he never went anywhere in it. And like I said, got on his nerves, so he would be waiting until it was time for him to leave to go do anything. Like he was going to go get food or something, he'd wait to leave.
Did your drive? Did he ever have a vehicle? Did he borrow his mom's vehicle to come over, or what?
He has his own. He's got like 3 cars.
Okay. So Jerome has a vehicle on his own. Okay. I wonder why on the 12th. And also on the 13th, why would George be in somebody else's vehicle? Does he normally drive to school? Does he?
What vehicle? I don't know what vehicle he's sitting in, actually.
Okay. Well, I know that on Tuesday he wasn't in anybody else's car except the truck and also the Toyota. Okay, so I was kind of curious as to did George drive everywhere he went, or was he like some of us when I was in high school? You fun to ride because you didn't have a vehicle. So
it's kind of 50-50 about that. He'll either get a ride from us or he'll ask his parents to. They have like 2 different vehicles that he will let use.
Okay, so it wasn't unusual for him to get a car and come over, and get a car and go ride around, but also he could call you and say, I need a ride, can you come pick me up, let's go do this. Okay, kind of understand that a little bit. But after our conversation, Megan, did Zach ever say anything about that rifle? The AR-15 or the AK, the black rifle that you saw Trent bring over. He never once after that said, Megan, I bought it and didn't tell you about it. I've got it hid underneath the bed or in the closet, or some boyfriends' husbands, their conscience gets to them a little bit later on, especially if they think their wife is kind of homing in on what the truth really is. So after
I don't know where you'd get the money for it anyways, because I know, like, I watched the bank.
Well, Scott and our friends, okay, and Scott said, hey, Bill, I want to buy that shotgun off of you, but I'm kind of light this month. I say, take the shotgun because I trust him. For Zach that close.
That makes sense. I don't think Zach would want to keep a gun in the house on him anyway. Like that alone. Okay. So that's why I don't think we'd even have a gun with him.
Okay. But after that day, you never saw that rifle again, the black rifle or anything like that.
You know that a lot of times when we bring people in this room and talk to them about whatever crime's been committed, a lot of times we already know the answers to the questions. Okay. And I usually when I talk to people, I don't sugarcoat things. I just tell them like it is so they get the full picture. You're at a fork in the road right now. Okay. You can stay on the path you're on. Okay. Or you can tell the truth. Okay. And I'm not saying that you're lying.
Liar!
I'm just saying that we're getting to a point to where you're gonna have to tell the truth, okay? Because.
I promise I'll tell you all as much as I know.
Okay.
If I know anything else, I'll tell you.
Okay, well, hear me out, okay? So I'm getting ready to start asking you some questions, okay? And remember that fork in the road. You can continue acting or saying what you're saying, or you can tell the truth to the questions that I have, okay? And I already know the answers, so there's no reason to make a cloud or, try to be deceiving. Have you ever been to a pawn shop before?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get the gun that you pawned?
It was my father's. That's from where he passed away.
Remember that fork in the road, Megan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where'd you get that gun?
It was my father's.
Megan, this is the last time I'm going to tell you about that fork, okay? And you are 18, never been in trouble. Do not, hear me out, even if this involves Zach, and even if you know a little bit more on Zach than really what you're sitting there telling us, okay? You have got to remember, you have got to think about Megan's future,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
That is very, very important, okay? That was not, did you say your grandfather's gun?
My father's.
Your father's, that's not your dad's gun, okay? Right?
Yes, sir.
Megan, honest with me. Megan, listen to me. That is not your dad's gun. It is not. Okay, I know it's not. You know how I know? Because I've already matched the serial numbers. Okay, so I know it's not your dad's gun. I know who bought that gun. I know whose gun it is. All right, and I know that you pawned that gun. Okay.
Am I allowed to ask for attorney now?
If that's what you want to do. Okay. All right. Just hang tight and let me use the telephone, and I'll be right back.
So they take Megan down to the jail, and I guess she saw Big Bertha over in the corner chewing on her fingernails. She was like, okay, take me back, I'll talk.
You okay? Okay, Megan, we're going to start over. All right? I'm going to cover your statement of rights waiver. Okay? I want you to know that you're still in custody with me, with the sheriff's office. You should know your rights, and here they are.
And the rights are read.
Mr. Bolton.
He is the Capcom attorney. He's advised me of what I'm to tell you, but he will not be in the interview. Okay?
I was just
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, for the record, you have asked to waive your right to have an attorney present. You did that in front of Phil Yates over at Boyle County Detention Center. I contacted Captain Scott Elder, conveyed your wishes. Okay. He consulted Frank Thornberry, KSP detective, and also Richard Ball, Commonwealth Attorney, Mercer County. Okay, you understand all that?
Yes.
You understand your rights. Okay, you're not unarrested. You're still under arrest. Okay, what happens after this will be up to Captain Elder and the Commonwealth Attorney and Detective Thornberry. Okay, I'm starting back on our interview. Okay, at this point, okay, we're not going to go down any more paths where we're not telling the truth. Okay, all right. Remember, I said I'm disappointed, but I still think very highly of you. Okay, so when I start asking questions, I want the truth, because we're not coming back down this road. Okay, there won't be any do-overs. All right? We're going to go back to the transaction of the rifle. Okay? We're going to go back to when you told me and Captain Elder that a month to 6 weeks prior that you saw that rifle to your residence and show Zach. Is that true? Okay. You start there and you tell me what happened.
That night he did take it back. He did bring it that time that I saw it, and he did take it back. But I'm not sure how much prior to the night that he killed Tristan he brought it back on. It was a couple nights before, I guess.
Okay, so I'm going to have to come out in the front of this and give you a little bit of a summary because it's difficult to understand. And the reason why it's difficult to understand So there's multiple people in this that are underage and they redact a lot of names. Jared's name's redacted, Tristan's name's redacted, and Trenton's name's redacted. And so when they blank it out, it's like, who are they talking about? Well, I went through this, I read lips, and I listened to the context. And I was able to kind of make out who they're talking about. Very difficult, but I was able to do it. I did this for you. So check this out. All right. This is what I could get. And this is not a fact. This is what I could gain from just watching the video because I don't have the incident report. Hopefully I'm accurate in this. It seems like Trenton wanted Zach to buy the gun from Tristan. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like a month before the shooting, Trent brought the gun over to Zach's house and said, dude, take a look at this gun. Check out this AR. And he was trying to pressure Zach to buy the gun, maybe so that he could use it, or maybe buy it for him. But he was trying to pressure Zach to buy the gun. Tristan was kind of like, hey, I'm selling the gun, but, you know, here, I'll let you borrow it. I'll let you show it off a little bit and allow Trenton to go around and show the gun off.
We're going to go back to when you told me and Captain Elder that a month to 6 weeks prior that you saw Trent bring that rifle to your residence and show Zach. Is that true? Okay. You start there and you tell me what happened.
That night he did take it back. He did bring it that time that I saw it, and he did take it back. But I'm not sure how much prior to the night that he killed Tristan. He brought it back over. It was a couple nights before, I guess. And he had told him he was trying to convince Zach to buy it, and Zach was like, I don't have the money, I can't do it. And Tristan just really persistent about it and be like, did you buy the gun? And Zach was like, I do not have the money. And like a little joke, be like, don't worry about it. And by the time that's all I knew about the gun. And then
so you're telling me that Trent came over prior to the 12th?
Yes, sir.
And asked Zach to buy the rifle?
Yes.
Okay.
It was just to please Zach, I feel like. But that's all that happened before then. And Zach just told him no, he didn't have the gun.
Okay.
Because he didn't have the money.
Okay. All right. Now, I want you to think very, very, very hard about this. Okay. Remember our first conversation? I told you I'm looking for this rifle. Okay. You're telling me that a month to 6 weeks prior to the 12th, the death of Trent, okay, that Trent brought the rifle over, okay, asked Zach if he wanted to buy it. Then let's fast forward. How long before the 12th, when you learned when Trent was killed, did Trent come back and offer and say, take the rifle and keep it? Give me an approximate time before the 12th. Was it a week, 3 days?
3 days.
3 days before?
3 or 4.
3 to 4 days before. Okay. And Zach did take the rifle.
He said, hold on to it and I'll work something out.
Okay.
That's what he's going to do.
So let me not let you get confused. So Trenton is the middleman. He wants Zach to buy the gun from Tristan. But Tristan is communicating with Zach about the gun. And at some point in time tells Zach, hey, hang on to the gun. Let's work something out. And he tries to work out a payment plan for him.
So Zach did 3 or 4 days before the 12th take the rifle.
Yes.
And keep it at his residence where you also live. That's a true statement. Okay. Okay. And you knew during that time that rifle was there. Is that a true statement? Okay. Zach had planned, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm understanding you correctly, Zach was going to buy that rifle if he had the money at a later date. Is that true?
As far as I know, Trent didn't talk about him. I think Trent brought it back over, but I don't know what they talked about because it texted me close to it.
So Zach never, okay, when he brought it over 3 to 4 days before, in any conversation, any understanding that you had with Zach, was his intention to buy that rifle?
He said the gun a large amount of money, and I was like, don't even think about it. It's not, like, we do not have it, and we don't need a gun in the house.
So Zach never discussed with you buying it?
No, sir.
Okay. But as we talked earlier in our first interview, a lot of times husbands, boyfriends don't want to tell wives, significant other spouses, whatever, that you're intending to buy stuff because of the money issue. Is that a true statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. But to your knowledge, Zach has a rifle, but you don't know whether he was going to buy it or not.
No, because I know we didn't have the money.
Okay. Okay. But remember what I said about Captain Elder? If he came to me and wanted to buy a gun and he didn't have the money, I would say, hey, keep it, and I'll collect money costs. And that's why I'm not trying to lead you into anything. I'm just asking you.
That makes sense.
That makes sense, but you never heard a conversation like that from Zach. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. All right. We're coming up on the 12th now. Okay, that's that Tuesday. You told us that you were working. Okay. Zach, you, and George are in Nicholasville looking to buy a car. Okay. You go to work in Belleville at what time on Tuesday?
4 or 4:30.
4 to 4:30.
If you need that time, like.
No, that's not. We're being truthful now, okay? And how long do you normally work? How many hours when you put in on shift?
I'm not sure the exact amount. It would usually be, like I said, to 8:30. It'd be 4:30 to 8:30 usually. If I wasn't closing, if I was closing, it would be 4 to 12.
Okay. Okay. And when I talked to you the first time, I asked you when was the first time that the discussion of took place between you, Jerry, or Zach. I didn't care. I just want to know the first time you learned of it, okay, what was discussed, and who told you. Now remember, we're going back down this road again, okay? And Scott told you there's one road that's going to be
yes, sir.
helpful, and one's going to be detrimental to you. Okay, so I want you to understand that. I'm not trying to trick you if you say anything, but do-over time, honey, is past. Okay, so we're coming up on the 12th when this occurred. When was the first time that you or anybody discussed?
Like I said, it was that Wednesday after school that we talked about it.
Wednesday after school.
But nothing of murder, nothing like that was ever brought up. I had.
Okay, tell me in your own words what that conversation was and who was there and who it was with.
We were downstairs in our room and talked about him getting $20 for food.
Okay.
And him taking to West Lane.
Okay.
And then later on in the same it was like same conversation. It was just later on in the conversation. I get brought up him having to pick him up at a church in Deep Creek. That's what you about.
Right.
And nobody had ever mentioned, like I said, they thought that he robbed him, and that's how they got.
When you say they felt he robbed him, are you talking about George or Zach? They felt he robbed him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did they indicate to you anything else that happened to Trish? Any inference or any statement?
I hadn't picked up on that. That thought had not crossed my mind until.
Okay. But did they say anything that would lead someone to think that something had happened to Trish?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Now, let's talk about the pistol. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You're telling us that Zach told you, okay, about the pistol for the first time. Start me down that road and tell me when was the first time you found out about that pistol.
I had no clue that had that pistol. It was when I was at school and I got a text saying the cops are going to search the house for the gun. And I said, what gun? And he said, me the, whatever gun it was, he had that night. And he said I went ahead and gave it to him.
Okay, so at this point you already knew about Trish.
Yes, sir.
And you knew who the possible person was that did it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I'm looking for is a motive as why this was done. And I want to know Zach's involvement. You understand?
Yes, sir. As far as I know, I had a problem. I know it's hard for weeks a lot of problems. I had no knowledge that it was going to happen. But once I was questioned by you and you brought up the AR, that's when I realized that could have been the exact motive that Trent was trying to please Zach by trying to kill him.
Okay.
I got here for everything I was when it was.
Okay, so make that statement for me again, because it was a little bit broken up. Start back over about what did you just tell me, okay?
I'm sorry.
Just when you said about when I questioned you about the...
When you questioned me about the AR is when I got suspicious that could have been... Never said anything about it, it's just, I realized that the type of person is, and to please Zach, or to make Zach think that he's cool or whatever, then he would do that. Trent, I don't know, he lied, he could have lied to us, I don't know, people do this, it's not, I don't know why, but he told us, he's like, I've killed 2 people before, and we're like, no, you haven't, and now, then it makes sense once the AR was gone, for what, we got the AR and Trent was gone, and that, he's done it before.
Okay. Now, let me tell you what I think. Okay, I think Zach knows more than what he's telling me.
Yes.
Okay, now remember, let's go back to the conversation on the 19th I had with you.
Yes, sir.
I told you that I'm pretty good at this. I've learned a lot. Okay, and I can tell when somebody misleads me or redirects me or has rehearsed what they're telling me. Okay, and I kind of get the feeling that when I talk to people about this, that what I'm hearing is what somebody wants me to hear, not what actually happened. Okay, I do believe that there's more to Zach's involvement than just taking a pistol and over an AR-15.
I believe that too. But
Okay.
Zach, I feel like Zach cheated on me a long time ago. Not a long time ago when he got a girl pregnant, and I think he was scared to tell me anything because he knew I would go to the cops. If he said if I ever did anything, if we ever broke up, then I couldn't trust you with anything because he would go and tell the cops. That's what he told me one time.
Okay.
Well, don't tell me if I ever.
Okay. Okay, when we first talked, I said of all the people on the earth, okay, I would probably, at your age in life, I would probably talk to my girlfriend before I talk to anybody. Okay. And I believe Zach talked to you. I believe Zach told you things that happened. He had to.
I promise you did not. I promise. I was at work and it's like...
Yeah, but I'm talking about after the fact. I've got a feeling he told you some things that, remember I told you I'm trying to put a puzzle together and this little piece of that puzzle, see, that rifle was a piece of that puzzle. Okay, did I tell you I was going to eventually find out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, and I keep hitting back on that point because the trust thing, you've got built back with me. All right. And you're doing it. You're doing a good job of it. But I don't want to find out tomorrow, next week, that you weren't being truthful because there won't be do-overs. Okay. So the next day, you get a little bit of inkling about what's going on, and this is on Wednesday, the 13th. They have robbed, but you didn't know anything about the death. Later on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, when after it was discovered that you had been killed, did Zach ever sit down with you, make any comments on that he, anybody, was involved in this death?
He acted really upset that him and Jerome were the ones that picked and dropped him off, but he didn't elaborate on that. He was just acting really upset that he's the one that did that.
Okay. And who told you to take the gun and pawn it?
It was my decision after, me and Zach had talked about it, and I said since it was from Trent to the house, and we needed money really bad as well, so it was my decision to do it for the thing.
Okay, is that the full discussion? It wasn't because Megan got worried about the gun being involved in this case, and it'd be a good thing to get rid of it? I
came home and I told him, I said, the gun needs to get out of the house because Mr. Cruz knows, the police, they know that there's a gun involved, and I just got scared and thought it was that.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're down the right road on the rifle. I'm not sure we're down on the right road on that pistol yet. Okay. Let's go back. After the incident happened on the 12th, when's the first time you knew about the pistol?
it was that day, the day that you all had found it. I promise you, I had no clue.
That was on the 13th. That was the next day on a Wednesday.
Whatever, you all searched it, or were going to search the house.
And
Because I thought he was going to go to jail for having a gun in the house. Because that's, I mean, that was how I found anything out, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
And then that's when I started asking, why would you have the gun? Why would you take the gun from him?
Okay, and answer that question to me, what Zach told you when you asked him that question.
He said that he was just trying to help turn out, and I still don't know what he meant by that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Angel Phillips knew about the gun.
She, as far as I know, she did not. She didn't know about anything as far as I know.
Have you talked to Angel since all this was taking place?
She said the first thing she knew was whenever Zach had told her to get the gun and give it to you all.
That's when he made a phone call?
Yes.
Okay. Did he first tell her to give it to us, or did he tell her to take it and hide it?
No, I know the reason why he called them was to say give it to them because he knew that she would try to hide it from you all, and he didn't want her to get in trouble.
Okay.
So.
All right. So if he called her to tell her to give it to us, because if she knew she would hide it, if she didn't know the gun was in the house, how would Angel hide it?
Then that means she did. I'm sorry. Yes. Then that must mean it was hid beforehand before he left.
That's what I'm getting at.
I'm not really sure because I was there.
Okay.
That's what I think.
But doesn't that make logical sense to you? Is if he said, I called her because I knew if they came here to look for it, she would hide it.
Yes, sir.
Well, she had to have knowledge of it to hide it if we came here looking. Does that make sense?
Yes,
We'd have a warrant.
I see what you're saying.
See how we're getting down this road a little bit further?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does Angel know anything about this case? Would she have any evidence from me whatsoever?
No, sir.
Any knowledge of anything? Prior knowledge?
No, sir. She wasn't involved except for the little bit that she said.
Do you know of anyone else besides Jim or Gerard, or Zach? Is there anybody else that knows has talked to you in any shape, form, or fashion about what took place out on Deep Creek?
He could have talked to the only other person I think that, not that he was involved, but he talked to would be his other best. And I just,
You're not supposed
he's a
sophomore?
And I just assumed that he would tell him because he's his best friend.
Because they are best friends.
Jordan was actually over at the house a couple times with him, so that's why I knew they were best friends.
Okay. Okay. Where is Zach right now?
He's home probably.
Megan and Zach, at no time, and I'm not trying to lead you into answering any questions, so you can interrupt me if I'm wrong or whatever. I'll rephrase that. Did Zach at any time tell you he was involved in the death of Tristan?
No, sir.
Did Zach at any time tell you
No.
that he was there when this occurred?
No, sir.
So when y'all are together and you're sitting around shooting the breeze, watching TV, does this discussion ever come up? Does any more discussion about it?
We just talk about how terrifying it is. I mean, I just tell them how scary it is that this kid that always came to the house and was one of his good friends killed somebody. We hung around him all the time, and how, I don't know just how scary that is, but that's all I've brought to him about it.
Did Zach ever say that he felt what the reason behind it was?
That he thought that trying to please him, and that was just...
Over what?
I have no clue. He just wanted some approval. I don't know what for, why. He always acted like he was trying to get...
So, the gun that you pawned, we know who it belonged to, okay? It wasn't...
I figured it was someone, like it was illegal of some sort.
No, it wasn't illegal for him to have it, as far as I know. But it wasn't his. And I don't know how the conversation occurred where that Troy tell Zach who owned the gun. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
And I'm asking you.
They did whenever Troy was over, like, I was always at work, like, so I don't know what they talked about. I only saw the tail end because when I was coming home to work.
But Zach at a later time, did he tell you that this gun did not belong to Trent? It belonged to somebody else?
We always assumed it didn't belong to Trent. That's what
Zach knew who it belonged to. Zach knew who it belonged to. Okay? I'm not trying not to veer off on that left, trying to stay on the right side of that fork in the road that Scott's telling you about.
Yes, sir.
Okay? I'm telling you, Zach knew who that gun belonged to. And I want to know if he told you who it belonged to.
Promise you, he never told me he knew who that belonged to.
Right. He didn't say, Megan, I owe money on that gun. So-and-so's ticked off if I don't pay it. He never once told you that.
No, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else that you can tell me that's going to put this puzzle together for us? And please don't leave anything out. You know, you sit and think hard if there's any piece of evidence that we need to know about. Sounds you know. Okay. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is Captain Elder is going to be here in about an hour or so. I'm going to go get you something to eat, something to drink. Okay. You're going to stay here, but I want to make clear to you. Okay. It was your choice to be here. You asked me in front of Phil Yates there in the Sally Port at the Bullcat Extension Center. All right. I've read your quoted your rights to you, stated your rights to you, you signed and given me a voluntary statement of what's happened. And you're telling me that everything you're telling me is the truth.
Sir.
Okay. And I have not coerced you, promised you anything, right?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. All right, I will go get you something to eat. If you need to go to the restroom, please let me know because we only have one person that can take you to the restroom, okay, before I leave. Okay. Okay, let me go get somebody because I've got to cover the desk while she takes you to the restroom, okay? Right back. Okay. All right. I'm going to start back on the question I asked you earlier and talk to you about when and why you pawned the rifle. Okay, you told me it was on the 18th.
I'm not sure what day it was exactly.
Okay. All right, you told me it was, you pawned it after you talked to me and you told Zach that I was looking for that rifle. Is that a true statement?
I'm not sure what day I found it.
Okay. All right, let's go back. We won't talk about the dates. Are you going to tell me that, or did you tell me that you came in after the interview, you went home, okay, and that was the 19th because I wrote it down, okay. It was after my interview with you that you went home and told Zach that we were looking for the rifle, and you suggested, or you jointly suggested, taking and getting rid of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have a problem. Okay. I interviewed you on the 19th.
It was before that.
You pawned the gun on the 18th.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Man, I wish they would have gave me the interview for the 19th. I didn't get it. But, doggone, man. She must have been telling some serious lies on the 19th.
So I hadn't even talked to you about the rifle, and you pawned it. Okay, do you want to go back and recover that statement again for me? Okay. All right. Tell me what happened.
I know we needed money. That was the main thing.
Okay.
And I know Dad wanted to get rid of the gun.
Okay.
And I said, I'm sorry, my days got confused.
Oh,
I
that's
know
okay. What did he say why he wanted to get rid of the gun other than you all needed money?
Because it came from.
What else did he say about the gun?
Just thought we didn't want.
Was
Nothing specific.
okay. Did he get nervous when he talked about that gun? Did his demeanor change? You know what I mean? Instead of saying like, you know, hey, I got this gun, we get some, you know, fast cash, or we can get the money we need. You know, was it different? Was it like, no, we gotta get rid of this gun, we, you know, this one, let's go take, you know?
To be honest, he wanted to sell it to somebody, like, rather than going to, he wanted to sell it to somebody.
Right.
And then, I suggested we go and do it to a pawn shop.
Now, let's look at how crazy this situation was. Zach's interview was on the 14th. They asked him about the gun. They went to his house and they called the girl upstairs to come down, and the gun nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, suddenly, the gun's nowhere to be found. Then they on the 18th, 4 days later, they pawned the gun, but they were trying to sell the gun on the street and get rid of it for 4 days. I don't know. Do you believe she didn't know whose gun that was and what they were trying to get rid of?
Why did he want to sell somebody else? Did he tell you? He didn't tell you it was because if I sell somebody else, there won't be a record of me selling it?
See, I'm not smart enough to think that, so I guess that's why.
But he didn't say, what I'm saying is he didn't say that to you.
What conversation have you and Zach had about this murder? And this is very important that because, like I said, I've talked to Zach on the phone. I called him. I said, Zach, I need to talk to you. I need you to come down here. He said, I got a lawyer. I'm not talking to anybody. All right. He didn't ask how you were. He didn't ask where you were. He didn't, because he knows what's going to happen. All right? It's not a secret what's going to happen. Okay? So, do conversation with him about anything regarding this murder, because this is serious. I mean, this is as serious as serious. You know what I mean? This is it. You know, I know Zach sells a little dope here and there and all that. None of that matters. We're talking about somebody being dead.
Yeah, you know, this little part about he sells a little bit of dope. Yeah, he might sell a little bit more than just a little bit of dope. On the 15th, the day after they started their investigation, they actually, when they went into his home, they found some digital scales, some cocaine, and some other drug paraphernalia, and they charged both Zach Lay and Megan Sims with this charge. Is actually combined to their charges with the case they're in.
You know what I mean? This is not skipping school. This is not a little bit of weed. This is not, somebody is dead. So it's super important that even if you think Zach may be involved, I don't think Zach killed him. I know Zach didn't kill him, okay? But I think Zach knows a little bit more than what he's telling us. And I think he told you.
I agree that I think he knows more, but I promise you he didn't tell me. I told him earlier. He told me at one point he wouldn't tell me anything if he did something wrong. This was a while back because he didn't trust me if we broke up because he thought I would come and tell me.
So what makes you think that Zach may know a little bit more about this murder? What gives you, because you're around him every day. You know, we're not around him. We're there every day. So what makes you think that?
There's so many things
And listen, whatever we talk about in here, you know, we're not going to drag Zach in here and like, maybe he said this. Whatever's said here is here, okay? We're not going to run and tell.
Well, when she reveals what she's about to reveal in just a moment, you're going to be like, girl, why don't you just tell on this dude? You need to just go ahead and spill the beans on that dude.
It's just, the gun, and I don't understand why the gun, and I don't understand why.
Which gun are you talking about? The pistol? Okay.
And he took off, and I don't understand why. They were friends, I don't know. Like, he has to do something.
You heard of him sitting around having a conversation with anybody on the phone, with anybody talking about this murder? What did he say? You know, we've already had him down here once and talked to him. What did he say after that? Did he say anything?
He just told me that he gave you all a gun, and that's all that you want really wanted. And he was okay after that.
Did he ever sit down with you after he was here with us and say, Megan, if you get questioned by the police, this is what I want you to say?
No, sir. We had no conversation about it. I promise.
When you talked to me the time at the school, well, I know that he asked you what was going on then.
Yes.
Okay.
I told him what I said then, but we had no clue that I was going to.
Okay. He didn't sit down before and say, if they ask you about the pistol, you say this. If they ask you about the rifle, you say this.
No, sir. He had no clue.
Okay. Well, you know, I told you before, y'all been together 8 months, and if he's going to talk to anybody, it's probably going to be you.
Or
Has he got another girlfriend? Just curious. Has he got any children? He has one on the way. Okay.
oh wow, I'm confused now. That math ain't math. And let's see here. Been together 8 months. Doesn't have another girlfriend, but has a baby on the way. Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
What's the girl's name?
Who? Is that the little big girl that was running away or whatever? That live in Frankfurt? Her grandma lives in Frankfurt, or somebody got something to do with Frankfurt?
Okay. I'm just curious.
I know who you're talking about.
Where does she live?
Pretty much.
At your house?
Pretty much.
Are y'all hearing this? Let me get this straight. We'll recap this again. No. Zach got another girl pregnant. She's almost due. He's been with her for right there, this girl for 8 months. Zach has moved the other girl into the home as well. He got both. Zach do. Hey, baby, can we? Myself in trouble up here.
It's not really, but
Do you know what she drives? You don't care car she
She
drives?
doesn't have a car.
She doesn't have a car. Okay. Does she borrow a car to use to come see you while doing you?
She doesn't have a license.
She doesn't have a license. How old is she?
Now, I'm sitting there like waiting for them to give the age. I'm like, oh, they're about to like 18, 19 years old. When they redacted that age, I said, oh, man, come on, Zach. Zach diving down into the minor leagues. Zach's just a criminal.
Well, can you think of anything that, like I told you, puts this puzzle together for us? We're close. We're close.
Like, all I could say is that all I know would be that trying to impress Jack. That would be all I could think of, but I don't know what he would.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't make sense.
Did you hear any conversation about the rifle that you all pawned? Did you hear any conversation about that gun being sold by to Zach with being the middle person taking the money and doing the deal?
I had no clue Trent was involved. Yeah, I thought it was all. I knew I figured it wasn't his gun, but I didn't know it was through Trent.
Okay. So you didn't know anything about any selling of that gun from Zach, with Trent being the middle person? You not heard that? Okay.
I knew there was someone, but I didn't know who.
Okay. Is there anything else that you can think of that we may need to know? And I know it's been a really bad day, okay, and I understand that. And it may be hard to think right now.
When all is said and done, after we're through with what we have to do you have a place to go stay? Are you going to be able to go back to Zach's? Who? Like I said, I'm a little disappointed, but I still think it's very highly of you, okay? I'm just, I hope that you are not withholding something.
I went to jail this morning.
I know. And when I brought you here the second time after you said you would talk without your attorney, I told you I'm not promising you anything. That what happens, happens. I'm not the Commonwealth attorney. I'm not Captain Elder. I'm not state police. Okay. And that's the whole story. Okay.
But fortunately for Megan Sims, her decision to be forthcoming would actually pay off, as her charges for attempting to hide critical evidence would only result in 2 years of probation. Zachary Lay, on the other hand, will receive 5 years for his deception and attempts to throw off the investigators. Our newest member of the longest yard, 6'6", 270-pound Trenton Easterling, will be served up with a 30-year sentence, a little bit more than Grandpa's prediction. If you enjoyed this latest 3-part series, put stellar down below, and hopefully I'll see you at the end for our bonus coverage of the case. And if not, I'll see you again later, right back here on They Called Me. Till next time. Welcome to the bonus coverage of this case. Let's dive right in. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it. There's 2 elements I wanted to talk to you guys about and get your opinions on. Basically coming from episode 2. I thought there was some really interesting dynamics there. I had never seen somebody say, I was at a murder, and they're like, no, you weren't. And you're like, no, I was there. I've never seen that before. I just, it's the damnedest thing. Never seen it before. I actually believe him. I don't know why. I just believe him. I mean, who would do that? I almost feel like he was in the seat of the truck, high as a kite, didn't really know what he saw, but he was there. I just can't see why somebody would make something like that up. I mean, it's not like he went out to a news station and was proclaiming that he was there, or I saw this, I saw that. I mean, he secretly, quietly went into the police department and told them, "Look, I saw who shot him." So the question is Zach a murderer? That's a question. Now, I'm gonna have to use alleged because I don't know, but I don't know. I believe the testimony that this guy said. He seemed serious too. He wasn't joking. He didn't seem like he was trying to get anything from the police. He just like, look, man, I don't know, but I did. Now, they did ask him a couple times, do you have any beef with Zach? He said he lived next door, which is, there might be something there. Maybe he has something against him. But he said some things in that interview that he shouldn't have known. He shouldn't have known about the shortage of money on the handgun purchase. He probably shouldn't have known what Trenton said when he came up, because Megan in her interview actually repeated it, where he said, I don't give a F what y'all do. That's what he said yesterday in episode 2. So it's like, how did you know that? Who told you that? I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Do you think he was there? I think he was there. I think he was just there, and he gave such horrible details, and he was such a horrible witness that it wasn't enough to convict Zach on murder. But I think he was there. I do. I just feel that way. The second thing is, I was talking about the underlying issue here, and there was a couple people in the comment section that hit it. I didn't get everyone's comment, but I did see a couple that talked about it, and I don't know if they knew that's what I was referring to, but So check this out.
I'll be right back, okay? Okay.
Notice how when she goes in to give him a kiss, he jerks his head away. That's freaking crazy. And then right here.
So I want you to. I love you, okay? I love you.
Notice how when she touches his leg, he jerks it away. Now, I don't want to. It could be for all sorts of reasons why a child would be upset with their parent. It doesn't necessarily have to be any kind of weird, odd anything, but it could be her dating a new man. His dad's not around and he's just upset about it, or maybe something she said to him, or who knows? But man, I think that has a lot to do with him being the way he is. Now, I'm not blaming his mom. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming the mom, but I am saying that there is an underlying issue oftentimes with with people that do criminal activity. And I think we see a dynamic there where this dude, he hates his mom, and I'm wondering, and you tell me if you disagree, could this have went further? That's why I named him Private Pyle. Because he's real big, tall dude, but also because Private Pyle lost his freaking mind. And this dude seemed like he might have just been on the verge of losing his mind. Like this was just the start. Maybe one of them people just go out and do one of them school shootings or something. I'm just saying, it could have been a school shooting next. Is that why he wanted this gun? Allegedly, I'm just throwing it out there. So y'all tell me what you thought. I just wanted to share those thoughts. Love to hear your responses down below. I'll get back to work on the next series, and you guys have a good one. Peace.